There comes a moment in every life when logic begins to fail, when effort alone cannot explain the sudden shift in your reality, when doors you never knocked on swing wide open, when blessings arrive faster than you can account for, and when battles you've been fighting for years dissolve in a breath. That moment, that divine disruption, is favor. Not earned, not bought, not explained, but undeniable. And I'm here to tell you, yours is on its way. You've wrestled in silence. You've walked through seasons where every step felt uphill, where every prayer echoed back like silence in a canyon. You've watched others accelerate while you stagnated. You've questioned, doubted, cried, and yet, still rose every morning with the weight of hope clinging to your chest. And that is the soil where favor begins. It doesn't land where arrogance lives. It doesn't bloom in the shallow soil of entitlement. No favor finds those who have suffered long, waited faithfully, and believed against every visible sign. This is not about religion. This is not about dogma or ritual. This is about divine timing, spiritual law, and the invisible hand of providence moving in your life. Napoleon Hill called it infinite intelligence. The force that responds to definiteness of purpose. The energy that bends reality to the will of unwavering belief. And make no mistake, what's coming is not random. It's the compound interest of every sacrifice you made in silence. It's the delayed harvest of seeds you planted when no one believed in your garden. God's favor is not a lottery, it's a law. A law that activates when your inner world aligns with the frequency of faith, gratitude, and bold action. Edison knew this when he failed 10,000 times before the light bulb. Carnegie knew this when he poured decades into industry before fortune followed. Favor doesn't skip struggle, it crowns it. But it does arrive suddenly. And when it does, it doesn't knock, it floods. You've been hidden, not forgotten. You've been delayed, not denied. The cocoon is not punishment, it's preparation. Butterflies don't crawl. They fly. But they earn their wings in darkness. That dark night of the soul you've endured was never to break you, it was to build your capacity. Because when favor arrives, it doesn't ask if you're ready. It requires that you be. You were never meant to blend in. You were never designed to live a life of mediocrity. Your vision wasn't hallucination, it was prophecy. And if you listen closely, beneath the noise of doubt and delay, you can hear the whispers of destiny saying, "Get ready." Because the spotlight isn't coming for the perfect, it's coming for the prepared. And you are being positioned. Favor is not found in comfort. It's born in fire. It's forged in nights of questioning and mornings of persistence. It's found in the man who builds when no one's watching. In the woman who prays when everyone else quits. In the dreamer who plants oak trees knowing they'll take decades to reach the sky. And in the visionary who continues to climb, even when the peak is hidden in clouds. When Lincoln lost election after election, he didn't quit, he listened. When Disney was told he lacked imagination, he didn't retreat, he built. When Ford was laughed at for inventing a vehicle that would replace horses, he didn't doubt, he delivered. They all knew something the world often forgets: when you align with your higher calling, favor finds you like gravity finds the earth. You don't chase it. You become it. But here's the part most people miss: favor doesn't make sense. It breaks logic. It lifts the least likely. It raises the overlooked. It accelerates those who've been delayed. That's why people will look at your life and say, "How did this happen so fast?" And you'll know it wasn't fast. It was faithful. It was fought for in the shadows. And when the time was right, heaven shouted now. You were never abandoned. You were being anointed in the dark. And now the oil is flowing. The wind is shifting. And the season that once drained you is about to bless you. God's favor is not a maybe, it's a matter of alignment. And the moment you stop doubting your worth, the moment you begin speaking life over your vision, walking with expectation, showing up like it's already done, that's the moment you activate it. So don't shrink now. Don't second guess what you've prayed for. This is not the time to play small or delay obedience. This is the time to prepare for overflow. Because what's coming is bigger than you imagined. The relationships, the resources, the revelations, they're on the way. The wind is turning in your favor. And when it hits, don't apologize for it. You paid for this in the currency of private pain. You earned this by not quitting when quitting made sense. You qualified for favor not by perfection, but by persistence. So walk like you belong in the room you once feared. Speak like the miracle's already done. Act like the chains are already broken. Because God's favor is not just on the way. It's already here. When you truly believe that something greater is orchestrating your path, you begin to move differently. You stop asking for permission to dream. You stop seeking validation from those who were never assigned to your vision. You stop negotiating your worth with people who couldn't carry your calling if they tried. Favor doesn't fit in the language of excuses, it speaks fluently in faith, obedience, and relentless motion. Look back, not to stay, but to understand. Every closed door wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Every betrayal wasn't destruction, it was divine release. Every delay wasn't denial, it was development. You didn't lose time, you gained power. You didn't fall behind, you were being set apart. Some things had to collapse so you could finally stand on something unshakable. Understand this: destiny doesn't rush. Divine favor doesn't arrive early. It shows up right when it's meant to, after your ego has been refined, after your heart has been softened, after your intentions have been purified. When you no longer want success to prove people wrong, but to prove your purpose right. That's when the heavens respond. And when it comes loud. It'll shake the foundation of your life. It will interrupt cycles that ran in your bloodline for generations. It will break patterns that held your ancestors hostage. It will bring people into your life you didn't know you needed, and remove those you didn't realize were blocking your path. God's favor doesn't add, it multiplies. But it only multiplies what you've already sown. So sow the right things. Sow belief when everything screams doubt. Sow excellence when nobody's watching. Sow forgiveness when you've been wronged. Sow gratitude even when life feels unfair. These are the currencies of the unseen. And in the economy of heaven, they never lose value. Favor is not luck. It's law. It's not random. It's responsive. When you live with purpose, when you show up with integrity, when you persist through the storm without letting it enter your spirit, favor finds you. Like water seeking the lowest point, like light bursting through cracks in stone, it will chase you down and overtake you when you least expect it. Think of David, an overlooked shepherd boy, anointed king while still smelling of sheep. He didn't look the part. He didn't come from prestige. But favor doesn't need permission, it finds purpose. Or Joseph, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, locked in a prison until one dream, one moment, one connection catapulted him into power. He didn't earn it by status, he aligned with destiny. That's what favor does. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need the world to understand. You only need to walk in the direction of your calling with the conviction that something holy is moving with you. You are not alone in your journey. You are divinely backed. And once that becomes your inner knowing, you become unstoppable. Because when God marks you for favor, no man can unmark you. No delay, no betrayal, no closed door can cancel what's already been written. What's for you has been signed in divine ink, and no hand can erase it. You are not waiting on the world, you are waiting on the alignment of your inner world with divine timing. And guess what? That time is now. You're standing at the edge of something massive. You can feel it, the weight in the air, the hum beneath your skin. That's not anxiety. That's anticipation. That's the vibration of breakthrough. That's what it feels like right before everything changes. Don't ignore it. Don't dilute it. Embrace it. Because what's coming is about to exceed every prayer, every dream, every vision board you ever created. Your story is shifting. The script is being rewritten in real time. And this time, your name is being called not as an afterthought, but as a first choice. God's favor is not a whisper in the wind, it's a roar about to crash through every limitation you've ever believed. You didn't survive the storm just to go back to normal. You survived because you're about to thrive. And when the floodgates open, remember this: don't reduce your blessing to human understanding. Don't let small-minded opinions dilute divine magnitude. Walk boldly. Receive fully. Speak victory, live legacy, and remember it wasn't random and it wasn't luck. It was favor. Undeniable, unstoppable, unmistakable favor. You've carried the burden. Now, you will carry the crown. The waiting is over. There's a divine momentum building around your life, and it's not fragile, it's fierce. It's not timid, it's thunder. And you can't afford to keep walking like nothing is changing. The atmosphere around you has shifted. The same old doubts, the same old fears, they can't come with you. They were only meant for the version of you that was surviving. But you're entering the season of reigning. Favor requires that you walk differently. That you speak differently. That you expect more than just enough to get by. This is not the time to play humble in the face of a miracle. God's favor doesn't show up for the casual dreamer, it moves on behalf of the disciplined believer. The one who still prays after rejection. The one who still builds with bloody hands. The one who still gives when they're empty. That's who favor follows. And understand, favor isn't fair. It doesn't make sense to the natural mind. It'll skip the qualified and anoint the hungry. It'll bypass the proud and raise up the pure in heart. It'll take the broken and make them the blueprint. That's why people won't understand your rise. They'll say, "How did you get here?" They won't know the years of tears, the nights of warfare, the silent sowing that no one applauded. But heaven saw it all. And heaven remembers. That's why this blessing is personal. Because no one saw what it cost you. No one felt the weight you carried. No one but God knows the prayers you prayed through clenched teeth, the mornings you got up when your soul wanted to stay buried. And now He's about to answer not just with comfort, but with compensation. Not just with peace, but with promotion. Not just with survival, but with significance. And don't be surprised when favor starts changing your environment. Some people won't be able to breathe in the altitude you're going to. They were only built for the valley, not the mountaintop. Let them go. Your destiny is too expensive to carry extra weight. Eagles don't fly in flocks. They soar alone. And so will you, if need be. This next chapter requires that you protect your atmosphere. Watch your thoughts. Guard your speech. Align your habits. Because favor can be missed when preparation is ignored. What God is about to release is sacred. Don't mishandle it. Don't explain it away. Don't dilute it for comfort. Rise to meet it. Stand up in it. Own it. You are not the same person who started this journey. You've been refined, molded, tested, and now rewarded. Favor doesn't arrive until identity is revealed. And that's what the waiting was for, not to punish you, but to reveal you. You had to see what was in you before the world ever could. You had to become before you could receive. And now the divine is responding. With opportunities that don't make sense. With resources you didn't chase. With rooms you didn't earn by resume, but by resilience. You will walk into places your name was whispered in before you even knew they existed. You will encounter people who are praying for someone just like you. You will be given things that no system could have orchestrated. And you'll know it wasn't by your might. It wasn't by manipulation. It wasn't by network. It was by grace. Unexplainable. Unstoppable. Favor-filled grace. This is your moment to walk into everything you once only imagined. Not as a stranger to favor, but as a vessel for it. You are the proof that persistence is louder than the past. That faith outruns failure. That purpose will always outlive pain. So breathe deep. Stand tall. Walk boldly. And don't you dare shrink. Because what's coming is about to overwhelm your life. And when it overwhelms you, it won't be subtle. It won't be silent. It will be a wave so strong, it washes away every trace of lack, every ounce of shame, every whisper of failure. God doesn't just restore, He resurrects. He doesn't just repay, He multiplies. And what He's about to do in your life will not be small, or comfortable, or explainable. It will be disruptive in the most divine way. Get ready for the kind of favor that makes you unrecognizable. The kind that makes people ask if you're the same person. The kind that takes what was broken in you and builds an empire out of it. You're not going back to who you were, you're becoming who you were always meant to be. Every version of you that tolerated less is being buried right now. And from the ashes, purpose is rising. This is not just a season of blessing, it is a season of unveiling. Of divine exposure. Of sudden elevation. And that's why the process took time. You weren't being ignored, you were being perfected. Every rejection taught you discernment. Every setback taught you strategy. Every lonely night carved capacity into your soul. You were being prepared not just to receive, but to sustain what's coming. You are not a random soul in a chaotic world. You are a chosen vessel in a divinely orchestrated story. And favor is the ink God uses to underline your significance. It's the signature of heaven that says, this one carries destiny. It's the force that will pull you from overlooked to overbooked. From forgotten to favored. From broken to blessed. And you won't have to announce it. Favor speaks louder than words. It shows up in your walk. In your countenance. In the way people treat you differently and don't know why. It shows up when doors open and you weren't even knocking. When people start saying yes to things you didn't even ask for. That's what happens when heaven gets involved. And remember, this favor isn't for vanity. It's for victory. It's not to glorify your name, but to glorify the God who lifted you when no one else would. This favor has a purpose. It's tied to legacy. You're not just rising for you, you're rising for everyone watching you. For everyone who needed a reason to believe again. You are the evidence that obedience works. That faith still moves mountains. That discipline still builds empires. That grace still redeems stories. So don't hide your light now. Don't downplay the breakthrough just to fit into spaces you've outgrown. Favor will force you to evolve. To expand. To operate on a higher frequency. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost comfort. It will cost approval. It will cost relationships that don't resonate anymore. But the reward will be a life so aligned, so abundant, so overflowing, you'll weep not from pain, but from awe. You didn't just survive, you qualified. You didn't just endure, you were refined. And now, the gates are opening. The flow is beginning. The rain is coming. And this time, it's not just for a moment, it's for a movement. The kind of favor coming to your life is generational. It's going to heal wounds you didn't cause. It's going to break chains you didn't even know you carried. It's going to plant seeds that will feed futures you'll never meet. That's how deep this goes. That's how high this rises. You're not walking into a blessing, you're walking into legacy. So lift your head. Square your shoulders. Speak like it's already done. Move like you're already chosen. Because you are. You've been marked. And now, you've been unleashed. There's a sound the soul makes when it finally comes into alignment, a vibration, a stillness, a thunder within. That sound is rising in you now. You feel it in the way your heart no longer panics in the presence of delay. In the way your spirit no longer bends under the weight of uncertainty. You are starting to trust the unfolding, not because it always makes sense, but because deep down, you now understand it was always sacred. You see, favor doesn't just elevate you, it awakens you. It calls you into awareness. It forces you to see yourself the way God always did, chosen, prepared, refined, destined. Not broken. Not forgotten. Not behind. But timed with precision, carved with purpose, and anointed with a mission no man can cancel. You were not created to blend into the dust of this world. You were designed to rise from it and set it ablaze with your calling. History is not made by the comfortable. It is made by those who were crushed and kept going. Who were laughed at and kept building. Who were counted out and yet still walked like kings. That's you now. Not because of pride, but because of clarity. Not because of ego, but because of identity. God's favor is not a costume you wear for show, it's a crown you carry for service. And let this be clear, your favor has a weight to it. You'll feel it in the pressure to stay grounded when everything accelerates. In the temptation to shrink back when blessings come quicker than your mind can process. You'll feel it in the responsibility to remain humble when platforms expand and voices start echoing your name. But remember this: you weren't favored because you were perfect. You were favored because you were persistent. You were the one who kept showing up after the disappointment. You were the one who stayed kind when bitterness would have been justified. You were the one who gave when you barely had enough. You were the one who forgave, who released, who healed in silence, and never lost your flame. And heaven saw it all. So now that the table is set before you, now that the cup is about to overflow, don't question if you're worthy of it. You are. The fire didn't destroy you, it proved you. The trials didn't end you, they ushered you in. You didn't miss your moment. You became your moment. You became the evidence of the very thing you once prayed for. And now, the law of divine return is in motion. What was withheld will be released. What was lost will be restored. What was stolen will be returned with interest. And not because you forced it, but because favor is a magnet to the faithful. You don't have to chase what's already yours. You only have to prepare room for it. So prepare. Expand your vision. Make space in your mind for miracles. Make room in your heart for abundance. Let go of the version of you that's settled for survival. That version was necessary for the storm. But now the sun is rising, and you're being called into overflow. Into joy without guilt. Into success without shame. Into healing without needing to bleed first. This is the moment your life begins to look like the vision God showed you in your dreams.